All right, guys, let's check out the Zelos Swordfish Damascus, otherwise known as Timascus. So I have two different models here, and they represent basically the four combinations that you could have purchased, maybe. They sold out pretty quick. But you have the blue colored one in the black sand. This was loaned by my buddy Dirk, which I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description. And then on the left, we have the yellow Timascus with the meteor dial. So you could have gotten, you know, the blue with that dial and hand setup, and you could have gotten the yellow with the black sand setup in that as well. Zelos, Elshin, made 30 of each, but he didn't really sell 30 of each because he always holds back like one or two of each, just for like if there's an issue, if one gets lost or damaged or whatever, warranty. So there's always a little bit of a holdback. So, you know, 30 of each, but that's not really the case. So super limited, and there's some handcrafting going on with these for sure. So the way these are created is there's two different types of titanium rolled together to get that look. And then Elshin heat treats the final treating on each one of the watches to get the desired look or color that happens after the product is made and then it is finalized. So from reading on their website, the way they get the yellow color on the Timascus, because it's the same type of materials, the reason it's yellow is it's a lower temperature for the forming of it is at 350 degrees Celsius range, whereas the blue is in the 500 Celsius degree range to get it, and that's how you get the two different colors. Both of them are beautiful, and when I originally noticed that these were being released, I wasn't in a position to buy one because they are pricey. They're pricey because of their labor intensive to make. So the black sand dial one, these were $14.99, so $1,500, and the meteor dial ones were $100 more at $15.99. So, and they're already worth, like if you go onto the secondary market to even try to find one, first of all, you're not going to find one. And if you do, I would be ready to pay probably closer to, you know, $1,000 premium, basically. You might find one for like, say, $2,500 to $3,000 or something. I couldn't even find any information where they were actually sold or what they actually sold for. So, hold their value? Yeah. You know, they're worth more, way more than when they were originally bought. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick one up, but I know enough people that have and are willing to send into the channel, which is awesome. So, I still get to experience these and share them with you. Now, I did pick up my own Swordfish. This is the titanium. I call it the Timascus Light. You know, and these were like, as far as I'm concerned, these were a deal, right? So these were $4.99, and they sold out pretty quick too. And the only Timascus in this one is the bezel insert, which is really cool, and I thought it was probably enough. But when you compare it to the full case and bezel and everything, yeah, this is like next level awesome, right? And it also has matching hardware on it too. So now, no bracelet with these. These ones come on Tropic, and then they come with a leather strap, whereas this one came with the full titanium bracelet with the stainless steel clasp. Other than that, they're kind of the same watches. They use the same kind of components, NH35 Seiko movement, 120 click bezel. All the cases should be about the same, 42 millimeter by like 48 lug to lug, non-drilled, and about 14 millimeter thick flat sapphire crystal with AR coating, 22 millimeter lug width, and a nice 7 millimeter crown. All three of these, the crowns, when you unscrew them, they pop with authority. They have really nice pop to them, and they're pretty solid. There's like little to no movement. The bezel action is just great. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. There's zero play in it. I mean, like zero play, and I've handled a lot of titanium watches and many titanium divers. I've kind of noticed a trend where it's kind of tricky to get a really good bezel feel out of titanium bezels on titanium watches. So they were able to achieve that with these for sure. And in this case, on the Timascus ones, if you look, it's not a bezel insert. The entire bezel is also the material. I'm a huge fan of that. I really like that. So you can see just how beautiful this thing is. And I know there's going to be a lot of, it's like a hate it or love it type thing. But if you're a fan of Zelos and you're a fan of the creative materials they use and how unique each one could potentially be, like, I mean, look at the dial on that thing. I'm not sure exactly what meteor the dials were sourced from these, but just beautiful color on that. Nice kind of like applied, I'm assuming that's applied Zelos logo up there. I mean, huge, super legible handset. You're going to have two different looms on this. You're going to have the C3X1 main loom because it's a sandwich dial. And then you're going to have some BGW9, which is the white, the stark white printing on the dial on the outer perimeter. That's going to be BGW9. So you can see a nice date cut out there. Just a beautiful watch. And this one is number 9 of 30. I love that they're numbered. So if we take a close look at, that was Zelos. This one is Derps. If you take a close look at the blue one, just, oh man. And I know both these guys are actually into knives too, so I'm not sure their collections entirely, but I know Dirk has some Timascus and Damascus type blades and steels. This is number 30 of 30. So this was it. This was the last one. I'm pretty sure Dirk maybe begged and begged to get this one. It probably doesn't hurt that you know, he runs with a pretty tight circle. Me and Dane from Celine Driver, and he's heavily involved in the watch and knife community, both with his channel and just his participation in Facebook groups and other groups and channels. So I'm sure that all helped as well. But really nice dial on this too, the black sand. It's really nice textured dial, gives it a nice rich look. Both I think it helps with the sandwich dial when you do these. So now you'll notice that if you go with the sand dial, you have a gold tone handset with the red tip seconds, and then you have the red print. Whereas if you go with the meteor dial on these, you have the polished handset with a really nice yellow seconds hand. Now for me personally, I like both of these. These would be my pick for the colorways. What I mean by that is if I were to get the blue one, I would have gotten the black sand, and if I would have got the yellow one, I would have got the meteor dial. I just personally, just scrolling through and looking at the pictures of them, these are the two perfect combinations for me personally. The other ones are very good looking as well, but these are the two that actually resonated with me. So it's very cool that I was able to see both of these in action. So let's pop them on wrist real quick, and then we'll do a loom shot. I just wanted to show, you know, my titanium one along with it, just so you can see, you know, the difference, but I'm not going to focus too much on that. All right, so here is the yellow Timascus on my wrist, 7 1/4 inch wrist on the Tropic strap. These things are so light, so comfortable, and just great looking watches. I'll probably have to move the handsets on these so you can see the loom better when we do it. Kind of timed it wrong. There's the blue one on wrist. I think this one is more striking, more beautiful because of the contrast. But for me personally, this might come across as a shock. I personally would rather have the yellow one with the meteor dial. Out of these two, they're both awesome. And if, you know, well, I didn't get either and I can't get either, but out of these two, I would choose personally the one on the left. But that's just my personal preference. So let me move these hands and then I'll give you the lights. So let's kill the lights. And you can see the loom on all of these. Yeah, so the yellow one's on the left and we have the blue one on the right. So you can see the excellent combination of the C3X1 along with the BGW9. And then if we toss in I'm calling it the Timascus Light, you can see it's equally as loomed. Just phenomenal looking watches. And the loom is just bonkers good. C3X1, especially on the sandwich dial, and then with the huge real estate of those oversized hands, plenty of loom, plenty of brightness. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Dirk and Jiro for loaning these in. I'll see you guys on the next vid.